Blessed morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm starting things off today in the Hobbit kitchen. I didn't have the energy to do anything yesterday, so today I'm going to do two things. First, I'm going to make a big batch of my homemade pasta sauce with meat. I'm going to do that in the slow cooker. That way I can have a nice large batch of it to freeze for the winter. So to start that off, I'm going to cut the top off an entire head of garlic, wrap it in aluminum foil, drizzle it with a little olive oil and a sprinkle of sea salt, and roast it at 375 for about 30 to 35 minutes. While the garlic is roasting, I'm going to dice up one large sweet onion. Now that the onion is all diced up, I'm going to leave it aside for the moment and begin sauteing a pound of ground beef and half a pound of sausage. Also, here are the rest of the sauce ingredients. There may be a few additional add-ins. I have ground beef and a combination of sweet and spicy sausage, but you can use whatever you want, or like I said, just dip the meat all together. The sauce is good without it. I just prefer meat. Alright, the meat is almost completely brown, so I'm going to measure out half a cup of dry red wine and get the onion. Alright, red wine, just to deglaze, and it adds a really nice rich flavor to the sauce. Just going to let that cook. And then I will add the onions and give them a nice saute as well. Now it's time to take the roasted garlic out of the oven and add that in as well. Beautiful roasted garlic. These cloves are going to squeeze right out into the sauce. Now that I've squeezed the fresh garlic in, I'm going to add the canned tomatoes and all of the herbs and spices and some brown sugar to cut the acid of the tomatoes. 1 large can of crushed tomatoes. 1 large can of tomato sauce. 1 small can of tomato paste. And a little more salt and pepper. I think my salt grinder might be a little clogged. Anyway, I'm going to add some basil, oregano, smoked paprika, crushed red pepper, a pinch of cayenne, and some dark brown sugar for now, as well as onion powder and garlic powder. Now that all the spices have been added in, generous amounts by the way, you want to make sure you season your sauce well. I'm just going to mix all this up, and then I'm going to cover it and let it slow cook for about 7.5 to 8 hours. You don't have to cook it that long, but I slow cooked my sauce. That's all for the sauce for now, but I will show you the completed sauce later on. That's all for now from the Hobbit kitchen, but I'll be back tonight to show you that completed sauce, and I will also be making a sausage potato kale soup. I hope you all have a great day.